Assalamu alaikum guys, I hope you're doing well, and in today's video we are covering the Linux crash course. So I'm on my Kali Linux and I will be going through some of the basics Linux commands that you need to know. So let's get started. So I'll be on my terminal here and we'll go through all the Linux commands from file commands to process management, file permission, searching, system information, and then compressions. We'll cover some network commands and some shortcuts. So let's dive in. So first of all, we'll start with some of the basics file commands. So if you want to see the listing of a directory, you can use ls to see what are the listing you can get in a directory. You can see what are the things that is there in a particular directory. And if you want to see the hidden files as well, you can use ls-al, and in this way you can be able to see all the hidden files. So as you can see, the hidden files start with a dot in front of the file name. For example, this one right here. So this is a hidden file. These are all the hidden files. As you see, it starts with a dot. Alright, let's say you want to see the listing in little short. You want to see the listing by time modification, maybe you can use in this way, and it will give you based on the time um, the files details. And then if you want to move to any directory, let's say I want to move to my documents directory, I can go to cd documents, and now I have moved to the documents directory, as you can see here. So the cd command is used to change the directory, and if you want to go back to your home directory, just enter cd and you will be going back to your home directory. If you want to know which current working directory you are in, so you can use pwd, so that will tell you which directory you are in currently. So right now I'm in home Kali Linux directory. And then if you want to create a directory, you can use mkdir, and then you can put a directory name. I will say directory 1, and it will create a directory 1, and I can ls it and I can see the directory 1 right over here. So this is a directory that I created using the mkdir. If you want to see the content of any file, you can see, for example, you can use cat command, and for example, I want to see the output of a this file test. So I can use tst test, and it says it gives you the output of that file. So the test file contains text learning compression. And then if you have a lot of text and you just want to be able to move around in a file, you can use more command. For example, if you're viewing the log file, for example, syslog. So here what I can do is, so I can use more and then var, then log, and then syslog. So now I can move up and down. As you can see, I can see all the contents of that file. I'll press Q to exit, Ctrl L to clear all the screen. Similarly, I can use less, and the same output var log sys log. So I can freely go up and down and see the whole content of that file. Q to exit. Okay, if you want to just want the output of the first 10 lines of a file, you can use head, and the same way you can use, so this way you will see the first 10 output of a particular file. Similarly, if you want to see the last 10 lines of a particular file, you can use tel, and then in this way we'll see the last 10 content of a file. Alright, so moving on. So if you want to create a file, you can use touch command, touch, and we can say test1, and now I have test1 file created here. So you can see right here, I have test1 file created here. Okay, if you want to remove the file, you can use rm and then the file name. For example, test1. And if you do ls again, you see the test1 file have been deleted. Similarly, if you want to delete a directory, for example, I want to delete this directory 1, and so what I can do is rm minus r and the directory name, for example, directory, and I can do tab to autocomplete. And now if I do ls, you see the directory 1 which was showing earlier is now deleted. Alright, then if you want to copy files, you can use a cp command, and we can say test. We want to copy to test1, and if you do ls, so let's do cat of test. Let's do cat, sorry. Let's do cat of test and test1. And see, we have successfully copied learning the text in test1 to test1 file. Similarly, you can move file using mv command, and you can move the file from one file to another by using the mv command. And now if I do cat, so you can see there is no file as test because I have moved the test file to test2. So if I do cat test2, I will see the content of test which was initially. Alright, so that was all about the basics of file commands. Similarly, you can create a symbolic link which is equivalent to having shortcuts in Windows. So you create symbolic link using ln-s, and then let's say test test2. This is a file, and let's say this is a link. So now if I do ls, I see there is a link here. So if I do cat link, and I see a learning compression, which is the content of test file. Okay, let's try to change this file. Echo learning compression. Let's say we put learning symbolic link. Let's see what happens here. And now, okay, and now we'll see what happens to link. Sorry, we will do cat link. As you can see, I actually created changes in the test2 file by adding another line with the text learning symbolic link, and now I can see the changes as well reflecting in the link because this link file is actually a symbolic link of the test2 file. So anything changes that happen in the test2 file, it will be reflecting in the link file. Okay, so that's how to create a symbolic link in Linux. Okay, so that were all the commands that we covered for file commands, file management. Let's move to process management. So if you want to see what are the currently working process, you can use PS to see what are the currently working process that are running in your Linux system. If you want to see all the running processes, you can use stop command, and now you can see all the running processes, your CPU details, your various other details about your memory buffer, and then you see here PID, users, time, your CPU utilization, your memory utilizations, and everything. So I'll do Control C to exit out. This the stop command is almost equivalent to your task manager in Windows. So by any chance, if I want to kill any process, you can use the kill command and you can pass the PID. For example, in this way, you can pass the right now I don't want to kill any process, but if there is any process which is having high CPU utilization or memory utilization, your system is stuck, then you can definitely use kill command and you can kill that process by giving the PID number. Similarly, we have a BG command. So BG command is it shows you all the stopped or background jobs that are running in your Linux system. So currently I do not have any current jobs running in the background. Similarly, you have FG, brings most recent to foreground, but I do not have any jobs running. So, but definitely you can leverage these commands to bring most recent job to foreground, or you can see what are the stops um, jobs that are running in your Linux system. All right, so let's look at test2 file. So as you can see, I have this is a read, write, read for the Kali user. Alright, so let's talk about file permission. So you can change the file permission of any file using the chmod command. Let's say you want the user to also execute this file, then you can use +X. So you're giving the executable permission to user, and then you can give the file name. And now if I do this, so I can see there is an executable permission added to the user. Okay, and you can see the color of the file also changes to executable. So chmod is a very useful command you can use to change permission to a file based on user or groups. For more detail, you can also use man and then chmod to know the more details about this command. Let's talk about searching now. So let's say you have a bunch of text and you want any specific word to figure out if this word exists in that particular file. So let's take example of our syslog file. So if I do cat var log syslog, I see a bunch of text coming on my screen, but I want to narrow down. If I want to looking for any specific word in this file, then how do I do that? We can use grep command. So let me clear my screen. And let's say I'm looking for the word root here. So I'll just say grep root, and then I will pass the file name for which I want to look into. So I'm looking into syslog right now, and I'm looking for the word root in this syslog file. So if I hit enter, I can see all the root words is highlighted in the syslog file. So this is a very important command to look for any pattern in a file, to look for any specific word in a file. So this grep command can be very useful. Alright, and then we can use locate file to find where is that file. For example, rocky.txt, where is this file? I want to know the location of it, and I can see that it is in user share word list, and then under word list directory it is in rocky.txt file. Alright, so this is locate command is also very useful for looking into file where it occurs. You can use to find um, any file or directory using the locate command. Alright, so that was all about searching. Let's move to our next topic, which is the system information. If you are in a Linux system and if you want to know some details about that system related information, then definitely we can leverage a lot of commands for system information. For example, let's start with date. So it will show you the current date of the Linux system. We can also use cal to see the calendar. Okay, so this command is not installed, so that's why I am seeing this. Oops. Alright, so I just cancel it. You want to see the uptime, so you can do uptime. So it was uptime for about 54 minutes. You can see who is online, and you can do W. You see Kali is online, login, idle, and other details. Then other we have who am I. So that also gives you who am I as a user, so I'm a Kali user. You can finger a user. So for example, you want a little more details about that particular user, you can definitely use finger command. And then if you need kernel commands information, you can use uname -a, and that will give you all the kernel information. And like I told you, you can always use man command followed by any command that you want to get information of. So let's say I want to know about ls commands, and I want to know what are the other options available for ls command. You can definitely come to manual pages of that specific command by using the man command. Alright, so if you want to know the disk related information, you can use df command, and that will give you all the disk usage that are currently used in your system. Similarly, if you want to know the directory usage, you can definitely use du command. And then if you want to your memory information, you can use free command. And if you want the same information in human readable format, you can get using the free -h command. So for example, I have around 3.8 GB of RAM, and out of this I'm currently using 612, and 2.6 GB is completely free, and these are the shared memory. So this is talking about your RAM. Alright, let's see what else. Okay. If you are confused where is that particular program located in your Linux system, you can also use where is, and then let's say Nmap is a very common scanning tool, port scanning tool. I want to know like where is this Nmap located, so we can use where is followed by any specific command. So this Nmap is in user bin Nmap, share Nmap, and these are the places where Nmap exists. Similarly, if you have a lot of version of a particular application or any program, and you want to know that which application will be running by default, you can use the which command. For example, you might have various versions of a particular language, for example, Python. Currently, I do not have, but in your case, if you have any different versions of a programming language exist within your system, then definitely you can use which command to figure out which version of the program will be running by default. Alright, so these were all about the system commands. System information related commands. Let's talk about compression. So compression is useful if you have multiple files and if you want to share that files with another person over the internet or any someone, and you want to, if your file size is very huge, and then what you can do is you can compress a file into a single file, and you can give that file to that individual. He can uh, uncompress it and get all the files. So this is a very useful command to learn in Linux. So compression, we can leverage the tar command as well as the gunzip command. So I'll give you an example. Let me just ls. So as you can see, I have so many text files, like for example flag.txt, ice.txt, and various other files I have. So if I want to compress into a single file, how do I do that? So I can use tar command, and then I will, since I'm compressing this file, so I'll use cf, and then I will pass the name of that specific tar file, which will be a compressed file, which I can then share with any other person. So let's say I'll just say file.tar, and in this example, I'm just using these two files, flag.txt. So I'm going to use flag.txt and the ice.txt. So what it will do is it will compress these two files into a final file which will be called file.tar. Let's do this. And now if I do ls, you see there is a tar file with the name file.tar. Okay, now if you want to uncompress this, decompress this file, how do you do this? Simply use tar command followed by x and f, and then you pass the tar file name and it will be decompressed. Alright, let's talk about gunzip file. So if you want to use gunzip file, so you can do this same way. You can use the zip, and then let's say you want to gunzip file, so let's say you want to gunzip file this too. And now if I do ls, you see there is that file has been gunzipped to test2.gunzip. And then if you want to decompress this, you can use czip and then -d and the file name. So in this case it is test2, and now if I do ls, I see the test2 file is back, has been decompressed and is back. Okay, if you want to see a content of any tar file, you can do this using the tar -tf and file.tar. So now we can see what are the files present in a compressed file. So file.tar is a compressed file, and now you can see that in this tar file I have these flag.txt and ice.txt contents. Alright, so moving on, let's talk about our network commands. So if you want to ping any host to see if you have network connectivity, you can use the ping command. For example, I'll do with ping google.com, and I see I have connectivity reaching till google.com. That's good. Alright, if you want to know about domains information, you can use who is and then the domain name. For example, who is google.com, and you can get all the domain related information. Similarly, if you want to know about the DNS, you can use the dig command, and dig command will also give you all the DNS related information of a particular domain, their IP addresses and others information. Use wget to download the file. Alright, so let's talk about some shortcuts now. So Control C will halt the current command. Control Z will stop the current command, and it will put in a resume. It will send it to a background process, and then you can resume with FG. Control D will log out the current session. Control W will erase one word in a current line. Control U will erase the current line. Control R will bring back the command, and then double bang command will repeat the last command. For example, if I do ls and if I do bang command, then it will bring the ls command back. So these were all the basics command for the Linux. You can dig in more information using the man commands, and but these were the basics command which I thought will be very useful for anyone who is new to Linux. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.